A lot of people are impressed when they find out that I grew up poor because now I'm financially savvy and I have this channel. But the truth is, growing up poor made me want to be where I am today. Even though I am financially savvy, there are a lot of negative effects that come with growing up in poverty that I feel like we need to address, okay? These are some of the things that maybe I went through or things that I noticed people are going through from growing up in poverty. And in order to get into that next level, you have to sometimes address the past. So before we get started, what I want you all to do is let me know in the comments, if you grew up poor, what are some of the effects that happened to you from growing up in poverty? Because I'm actually curious, am I the only one who went through these things, or did you also go through these things? Also too, thank you all for 6,000 subscribers. I don't know, I'm just in shock still. I can't believe this channel is growing so fast. I appreciate all of you so much, and let's get into the video. One of the negatives of growing up poor is that you keep the same bad financial habits that maybe you grew up seeing. That hurts my feelings when I see some of my friends that I grew up with still living in the same neighborhoods, still doing the same things that we grew up with. Like, you want everyone to just upgrade their life and be successful and be happy, but that's not always the case. You know, you have to completely reprogram your life in order to get out of those situations. But if you growing up in poverty and everyone does the same thing around you, you know what I mean? Like, your auntie is struggling and then you struggling, your mama's struggling, and you see that, sometimes you keep those bad habits. You have to really sit with yourself and figure out a way to get out of it, and it is not easy. It takes a whole mindset shift, okay? So let's move on to number 2. You feel the need to be flashy. That is something I noticed with a lot of the men in my life who grew up poor and they finally made it, whether that be at a job that they have and they're doing really good, or, you know, entrepreneurship. They tend to be flashy. And it's because, imagine being bullied as a kid for not having certain things or not having a certain clothes, and then you come up and the first thing you want to do is like show your haters, yeah, now look at me, you know. And I get that. I definitely went through that phase. Even when I couldn't afford it, I would try to be flashy and, oh look, I bought a new car, oh look, I got this, I got that. And it's because, you know, I was bullied. When I was in high school, y'all, they voted me most likely to be homeless. I still am a little mad. Like, I still feel like I have something to prove sometimes. So that is an effect, like I said, of growing up poor or being bullied. I also feel like this keeps people poor sometimes because, like I told you all, I was being flashy and I had no money. I was broke. But I was trying to keep up with the Joneses and post on social media so people would think I was doing something. Yeah, don't do that. Number 4, and this is something that I still go through to this day, but being tight on money. I act like I'm poor. I'm gonna be honest. I just threw away some of my clothes that I had since maybe the 8th grade. I know, I'm trying to live life in abundance, but I can't lie. When you go through that struggling period in your life, not even always growing up poor, but even going through a low period, you never want to go back there. And you will do everything to prevent it, including depriving yourself of things that you really want, and that's not good. Even though I have thousands in my account now, it's so hard for me to spend unless it's something that's needed. But doing something like that I like, it's very hard, and I still am on a very strict budget. But I will say, please, you have worked hard, life is short, don't deprive yourself. Just do things within budget. The next thing that you go through, and it's kind of similar to number 1 about the bad financial habits, but you also are financially illiterate. This is why I started this channel. There are a lot of people who didn't know about money because we weren't taught money in schools, first of all, or about credit and things that actually mattered. I have not been asked about Van Gogh yet, or Queen Elizabeth. So while y'all could have been teaching us about money, unfortunately we were not taught about money, and a lot of us have to learn from really bad mistakes, which is, like I say, why I started this channel, because I made a lot of mistakes from not knowing about financial literacy. I just want to say to anyone who's watching this video who is my age or older or younger, it doesn't matter, it's never too late to start. A lot of people don't even know about like their 401k match. Those are things I learned from making mistakes. People don't know about APRs when it comes to interest on loans. So many things that people don't know, and not like they can ask because you don't know what you don't know. But that's why I have this channel. So make sure you subscribe because I got you. Number 7 is it can affect the way you treat your kids. My mom, even though we struggled, it didn't feel like it because my mom was very attentive to us. She did a lot of free activities with us and taking us to the parks and always kept us busy. It was very hard to know that we were poor. It wasn't until around high school I realized, like, oh damn, we broke, you know, we don't have nothing. But my mom was a very, very hands-on mom. I will say, and I'm just gonna be honest, as a mom, I don't feel like I'm as hands-on like I want to be because I'm so focused on my son's future. Growing up poor, one of my biggest fears was not having enough for him. And that definitely affected my parenting. And I see a lot of parents either being the extreme just like or the extreme opposite of their parents. You have to do what's best for your kids financially, don't get me wrong, but then you also have to make sure that you spend that time with your kids and, like I say, find that medium. Number 8, and this may be a trigger, but resentment towards parents. I think all people have some issue with their parents, anyone. It doesn't matter if you grew up poor, rich, whatever. I used to be really mad at my mom and my dad for not providing me and my sister with the things that we needed, and I feel like I did a lot of things out of desperation to make sure that my family had the things that they needed. I had to learn to forgive them. Try to have a conversation and try to be open-minded, and I'm not saying excusing the behavior, but just so you can move on and elevate in your life, you gotta sometimes forgive to move on. And number 10 is envy of successful people, which I will get more into when I do my video about how to change your poor mindset. You cannot, or you need to stop envying people who you want to be like. Those people who would post retired at 28, and I would, oh, here they go bragging about this and bragging about that. But then I realized that I wanted those things for me too. Don't envy people you want to be like. We have this saying, I say in the poor community, that money is the root of all evil. But I feel like it's the lack thereof that's the root of all evil. That's just my opinion. People do desperate things when it comes to money when they don't have any. Or the greed of it is the problem. It's not the money itself. It's the person and their relationship with the money. That could be the root of all evil. But it's not just money itself. And I see people say things and they don't like to see people living in luxury. Oh, you could have spent that money on this. Stop that. If you want to attract abundance, don't tell the universe that you don't like people who are living in abundance. That makes sense? Alright, so I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope it made sense. I hope it resonates with someone. If it did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram at @theupgrade_Kiki. And I will see you all on the next video.